Yeah. I never forget this one party I was invited to. It was we was it was in 2015. It was like around 15 because I remember this was around when the first um, presidential term of Trump. It was around that time when he first got in office. I believe it was around that time. And I never forget, like I said, I met so many popular peoples because of the situations, the people that I used to, like I said, I won't reveal the whole lot, but I will say that I've seen behind the curtains. So basically, I go like to this party. Yeah, I'll tell you, it was in Florida. It was in Miami, Florida. It was during the time. I remember there was I forgot who was down. I remember I met uh who did I meet that day? Roy Jones Jr. I met Roy Jones Jr. and George Foreman. George Foreman was bringing his son up there because his son boxes, and he was bringing his son up there to box a fighter. And it was a tomato can boxer. The boxer that he was fighting was sorry. I know a lot about the boxing industry. It's all fake. I give a lowdown on that one. Just leave in the comments if y'all want to hear about that. But anyway, make a long story short, because I'm not gonna make long videos because I want it to be something watchable that people can just watch, get this jewel, pick this jewel up, put it in your purse, and go off with it, and even do a little research. But I met a celebrity a famous celebrity. I won't put the name out there because for reasons, but everybody in the whole world thought this person was dead, except the people who was around in that circle. They only hang around in certain circles. Well, basically, it is people who do know this. There's like millions of people that know what I know. But the thing about it is, they have it in a certain way where if they say something about it, it'll mess their chances up in ever really doing anything. That's the whole reason why I even so a lot of people not gonna speak on it because it's like once you reveal the truth, all right, people just gonna take it and go somewhere else with it. But you're gonna be the only one that's still suffering because half of the people you can tell them right now something very amazing. They won't. They'll hear it and go on about their business, but there's people that's gonna be mad that you still said it because you're a threat now because you're telling things that shouldn't be told. So I asked about this celebrity. I said, man, what? I said, how? Because I was shocked. I was nervous and I kind of was scared because I'm like, I'm under the impression that this dude was dead. You know what I'm saying? And so the guy told me, he said, preservation of legacy. He said, he started telling me stuff. He was like, do you think that, for instance, Tupac, he said, do you think that his albums would have sold as much if he was still alive? But by people knowing that he died and they remember him being the fiery Tupac, the pistol Tupac, the tough guy, that's what people want to remember, and that's what entices people to buy his records. Even if they are 10 years, 15 years old, 20 years old, people still going to stream those albums because they have no more Tupac. If they want to find Tupac, guess what they got to do? Go stream his old stuff, which will run it up for the mega corporations. So this guy has to be dead. And then he said, you're more valuable dead than you are alive. I said, what? I said, how? You can make money how are you, what are you talking about? He's like, people are just buying up people's last projects that they bought up. They just buying up the last thing that this person done in remembrance of the person's legacy. So the person is a legend. we put him up here as this is the last thing that this person done, right? So you're looking up there at this person, and you're thinking that this is the great person that I'm looking for, because I can't go anywhere and find him. He's dead. So this is the greatness, because if I can go see Tupac, and Tupac, I'm just making Tupac as an example. This isn't who I saw. But if I can make Tupac, right? If I can make Tupac popular and keep him that way, versus somebody going somewhere and seeing him as a grandpa somewhere, and then we're like, hold up, this is Tupac. This is not the Tupac. Yeah, we see him 25 years ago, when he was, but this really is Tupac. He's a granddad now, and he's preaching like go to school and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to go stream his albums, right? But if we can go and see the last Tupac, where he was, some kid that just started listening to music gonna say, who was Tupac? Research him. Guess what? He's going to see the last. See, they froze him in time. You see, so this is going to make money. Because if we just let them keep living, and if people just seeing the up to date version of such and such, we're going to see a whole different version of him. Besides when he was 20 and 19, we're going to see the 40-year-old version of him, right? See. So I asked him, why did they do that? He said it was preservation of legacy. We preserve, basically it's like putting somebody in ice and just keeping them there. They're never getting old. They're never rotting and going over. We keep them in one spot. So it's like this. Why do you think that most of these rappers that wasn't anything when they was alive, their albums barely sold, but when they get killed, their album goes 10 times platinum? Because they're worth more dead than alive. People are always looking at the updated version of you and judging you off of that. So if the last updated version of you was that energy or whatever you were putting out, the character that ever you was representing, if people can go back and see that and then say, oh, that's what I'm getting. This guy who I can't go into nowhere else and see, like, this is him. This was him. And this is the energy that you see, you can't get the new energy that because it's dead. So this, and like I said, you say, man, that stuff really worked. Yes, they did. And the guy, it's crazy because he said they've been doing this. They do this not with just artists and singers. They do this with actors. They do this with, politicians. It's almost the same thing as if when you, all right, say you go into protective custody and they change your whole idea. It's the same thing. Except, come on, the guy dead. He's not in protection. That's what you're thinking. But they basically put him through the same process. Some of them even get something. And like I said, all right, the other side to that, he explained some crazy stuff because he said sometimes they make you think something. I said, so you telling me nobody ever really, everybody, he's like, no, some other people they really want to kill. And they make them think that they're going to do this. And then when it comes down to the situation, they get hit with real bullets and they really get took out because they was a problem. Like they was having problems with them anyway. So when they signed up to do the preservation of legacy deal, he said that basically, we take them out for real. You see what I'm saying? But some people, a lot of people, they actually let live through the situation. But so if they really want to take you out, they'll just take you out, while you think it's going to be fake, but you really got took out. And what else he said? Because I got to end this video. He said that, oh God, he said, yeah, and a lot of them get facial, a lot of them get reconstructive surgery. So a lot of them, they take you out for real, or they can fake like they took you out. Either way it go, we're going to get that. Your album's going to screw you, or whatever project you're an actor, whatever you're doing is going to go up because people are going to see more, hear more about you. And he said that if there's a deal that they can have to get, most of them don't want to do it because it either messes them up in the long run. They already heard that it sucks. Like, if, some people have bad reactions to having surgery. So some of them can still stick around and walk around in public, but they have to have, if they take that type of deal, they have to have reconstructive surgery, and not just like shooting Botox in your face. This is literally rearranging your face. If you ever watch, if you want to know, this is look at Face Off, the movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Just they kind of tell you about it right there. But like I said, they got to shoot you the movie and give you the plot and the theme of the movie, so you'll be thinking about the movie. But just sometimes when you watch these movies, kind of put them, see what could they do in real life if they're really thinking about this idea. Because a lot of times the producers of these movies, I know this personally, the producers of these movies are actually telling you things that are going down, but they making a movie about it. And they have to put these labels on in sci-fi, science fiction, you know, you know. Don't believe me? Just go in the library and go check out what section the Bible is in. It's in the part of the store where they sell fairy tales at. They don't have it like in science in the reality section. So if we're already literally, if we're basing our whole spirituality off of something that could possibly, you see what I'm saying? But it's real. We're taking it as real. We got to look at it on the opposite end. Maybe they're telling us something that is fake, but we're looking at it as real. When what I mean by that is maybe they're telling us people are dying fake, and we're looking at it as it's real. You see, I guess that was a bad example, but anyway, 12 minutes. All right, I'm out. Peace. I'll be back too because I got some more disturbing stuff. It really gets worse. It really does. Peace. Members only.